Hello, my internet fans. Welcome to another episode of StatBoy's Sports Bar. Normally the StatBoy Sports Bar featuring Dory Lou, but she's not feeling a little bit well today, but she's okay. Everything is A-okay here in Sevierville, Tennessee. And basically we have lots to talk about and lots of news to get out, and we start in with a little bit of sadness in the poker world, hence the cards. Sadly, one of the great poker legends, Doyle Brunson, passed away at the age of 89 years old. Now, Doyle was a force to be reckoned with in the World Series of Poker. The World Series of Poker, of course, is a giant poker event that takes place in Las Vegas. I believe the main event used to take place at the Bellagio, where that's like the biggest poker room in the world. I really don't know where it all is. And, he just you would know he was in the room because of his white cowboy hat. He also had the nickname Texas Dolly. That was his name there. He has a poker hand named after him, the 10 deuce. Now, in the poker world, this is not one of your powerful starting hands. In the poker world, of course, the Cadillac of starting hands are aces. Aces is the best you can do. Of course, there are other good hands like a pair of kings. They call these cowboys for obvious reasons. I wonder what they call this one. No idea. Another big one. This one I call poison because ace king can either help you or hurt you depending on how you play it.
Accurate.
I play the queens all the time.
As you should.
Of course, the worst hand is a 2-7. But what Mr. Brunson did with a 10 and a 2, or a 2 and a 10, and this happened 2 years in a row, back to back. Now, the odds of that happening are astronomical.
Right.
He turned that 10-2 into this, a full house.
Well, there you go.
With this hand right here, he ended up winning 1976 and the 1977 World Series of Poker main event. This is the
crazy.
This is the one where you put $1,000 for one seat. $10,000. You can win millions. The problem is you have got to play marathon poker for 4 days straight.
Accurate.
Indeed. 89 years old. He also won 10 World Series bracelets. The bracelets are smaller events in the entire World Series circuit. So yes. He has 10 of those bracelets. 89 years old, a poker legend, of course. That I got started watching the poker when poker was big, when the World Poker Tour had come out. Poker's not really a sport, we know that, but yes. ESPN and other companies cashed in on it because, they're sitting there like this. They're looking at their cards. They have cameras under the table,
Right.
And everyone knows about the crybaby, Phil Hellmuth Jr. He's like, well, I had pocket aces. And pocket aces are supposed to win 90% of the time. And all that garbage. So,
Why does that guy sound like the Jack in the Box from Rudolph?
I like that.
It's what it sounds like to me when you do the impression. I don't know.
So he was a legend. He will be missed. Poker has died down a lot, of course. The whole craze. It still goes on. Cash money games and all that stuff. But
of course.
It's not that. Also, if you check out the shirt. The right hand of God, Sam Knight.
Yes.
We had been promoting this show for weeks upon weeks. It's probably another reason why Dory Lou is not here. She worked herself into a frenzy.
She did.
She oh my God, yes. And I've got How about that? But we went into Pigeon Forge, which is our sister city in Sevierville. We got to meet some nice people. We got to make some nice friends. Sam Knight and Drew Skills were the tag team champions. No longer, no more. They lost the tag team titles to Blanco Loco and Axton Ray, I believe his name is. I didn't get all my notes down. I'm sorry about that.
That's okay.
And if I have not posted a picture yet, I do have a picture. I've got to meet somebody, and I also have a couple videos to share, which we'll do from a fellow comedian, vlogger, was Trivia with Buds. In fact, he gave me this freebie.
Oh, nice. We
walked into the convention center, and he saw me wearing my StatBoy shirt.
Yes.
Not that one, the one with Dory Lou on it. He's like, "What's a StatBoy?" I'm like, "I'm a statistician." Now, mind you, we just literally walked in the door. Okay?
Right.
We haven't even bought our tickets yet.
Okay.
And guy walking around in a Darth Vader costume, a full Darth Vader costume.
Jeez.
Yeah, and he's sitting right. Get our tickets. $100 for tickets, 2 VIPs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, you remember the days of going to wrestling conventions? You will spend money.
I've actually been to very few of those. I remember going to like G23 and Star Trek conventions. Those were a bitch.
Oh yeah, you will spend money on that.
Oh
so
yeah.
He comes over and he's like, "What's a stat boy?" I said, "Well, I used to be a walking WWE encyclopedia. You can ask me anything about anybody, and I'll know it." And so he tried to stump me on something, didn't work out. I tried to stump him, which I did.
Oh
yeah. The question I stumped him on was, who was the first person in the lineage of the WWF Championship have the belt vacated due to a controversial finish?
Right.
And it was not Inoki.
Okay.
It was Bobby Duncombe versus Bob Backlund during the 6-year reign. They had a match, and Backlund the match. They had to go back a couple days later. It was a Texas death match, and he said, he knows your stuff. You know your stuff, StatBoy.
So let me ask you a question before we move on. Did he say Inoki was the right answer?
He didn't even think of Inoki.
Okay, because I will tell you the Duncan thing was after the Inoki thing.
Yeah. Well, Inoki is recognized. They actually have it recognized.
Not by WWE officially, though. No. He is not officially recognized as WWE champion, and that was in 79, and Duncombe was actually in early 82 or something, because what basically how they did that was Backlund had the match with Valentine, and Valentine lost the fall, but the referee in his, having been knocked silly stupor, raised Valentine's hand, and the guard, whoever they were, was like, "What?" So they held the title up, and him, Backlund, and Duncombe filled the vacancy with a Texas Death Match. But that was after the Antonio Inoki situation.
Indeed.
So yes, you do know your stuff, and either way, you had him stumped, which is awesome.
Either way. So he was very cool about it. We went up and down the aisles. Later in the show, he asked to do an interview. We did an interview. We have the interview. We also have permission to show the interview. So let's go ahead.
You want yours first or Dory's first?
Let's do Dory's first.
Okay.
Let's play Dory's first.
All right. We just had StatBoy. Now we have StatGirl. Introduce yourself. Tell us who you are and what your role is on the podcast.
Hi, my name is Dory Lou, and yes, I'm becoming known as StatGirl as well as Dory Lou. StatBoy Sports Bar is usually featuring me, but when he's not available, it becomes Dory Lou's Sports Bar.
Okay.
I kind of became his sidekick, his peanut gallery, initially in the beginning, throwing comments into the show from the background. And somehow I ended up becoming a part of the show, and I was sharing it and trying to understand the sports that we covered.
So, what's kind of like, what do you do? He's not there, it kind of becomes your show. What's your favorite sport to cover, and why?
Oh, that's a tough one. I loving football and hockey. I'm originally from North Dakota, Minnesota. I grew up between the two, depending on if we were living on the Air Force Base or not. So I football and hockey, really.
Right.
So those two.
Just instilled in you to love.
Yes.
So between football and hockey, who are your favorite teams or teams?
Because of my time in Minnesota,
Okay.
it does not matter the sports. I will support the Minnesota teams.
Oh, that is an unfortunate love to have. I just said that to him.
Damn!
Well, you know what? I'm not sorry.
Terrible.
The good, the bad, and the
It
ugly.
is, man. That's vicious.
Support all Minnesota teams.
And that's absolutely honorable to stick true to for your. So what?
Be true to your school and all that.
When it comes to all sports, you're like, well, why do you love sports in general?
The numbers are good. I enjoy good matchups, seeing good plays. My mom and I feel the same way when it comes to seeing very lopsided scores. That makes it very uninteresting game. We like to see things tight, close. That kind of keeps you on the edge of your seat.
Oh yeah, that entertainment value.
Oh yes, definitely. And we definitely had some of that in hockey last night.
Oh gosh.
Oh my goodness, yes.
So, when it comes to like how you remember all of the names and teams, like is it just something that you love? Because I've always wondered that. I have a terrible memory. How do StatBoy, how do you guys remember all of these numbers, all of these stats, and just pull them out of your brain?
For me mostly, and I know StatBoy does this as well, notes. We keep notes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So when we're doing our broadcast, I have my notebook in front of me with everything I want to cover, and then I might pull something else that I did not write down that I remembered from this article or that or whatever update I picked up. But I keep a lot of notes because, let's face it, I am a little bit older than Mikey, than StatBoy, and dealing with some health issues that seem to be affecting my recall. It's
Yeah, I've been banged on the brain a few times. I was in the course. A couple TBIs might do that to you.
okay, so
I
Accurate.
kind of like a fool writing stuff down, but it's you guys do that as well. So maybe it's not so foolish for me to do after all.
No, and actually.
No, it is. Don't do. No, it is.
When I start writing stuff down, I actually start remembering it better.
Right.
I retain some of it.
And
better.
teachers are saying that for years, but watch out for it. It's true. Like that's crazy.
Very, very true.
100% true.
StatBoy just handed me a note and it says, "Please run. She's going to hurt you."
What a joker. He's a great.
Damn.
I would never do anything. She's amazing with what she's been doing in the past 2 years. I just gotta throw that out there.
Well, thank you, StatBoy. Thank you, StatGirl, for coming on my podcast. When it comes out, I'll let you guys know. Yeah, it's very nice to meet you.
You too.
Yeah.
I love how we're getting her that's my interview. This was done a little bit before, but just watch and see who.
So, do you want me to put the picture up before that so they have context of why he's doing what he's doing, or no?
After.
Okay.
I'll explain it after or during. Let it play.
I mean, that's fair.
Myers back there, you know what I mean? All right, cool. Gonna get that for later.
There you go.
All right.
It's like freaking Quick Star running through the press conference after the cup win.
No
Already here she is. She's just running through.
Tell me a little about yourself. Tell me your name and what you do.
All right. Well, my name's StatBoy Mike. I do a weekly sports blog on YouTube on the Jeff Meacham Network and the Casa D18 Studios. Everything sports, NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, NASCAR, golf, tennis, and of course wrestling on the side with
Can't see
Damn.
No, we can't see you, Sabu.
Sabu,
Come on over, Sam. I'm being. See, earlier I said something stupid to him, and now this is my receipt. Okay.
Sabu's just sabotaging.
Yeah.
Say behavior, so you know it, brother.
Yeah, he's taking over.
Hijacking is a better word. You're right.
He talks. He actually
Thank you, Sabu.
Speaks his.
When you get the when you get the blessing of an ECW legend, you know you've made it in the world.
Yeah, 100%.
That's
I was going to ask him to interview later, but I think I got all I need for
That's
Sabu.
all you need. I mean, there it is.
Right.
But everything sports is that's what we do. And the reason I call myself StatBoy is because I am fascinated by. No, I am fascinated by.
No, nobody's fascinated by that nonsense.
It's like LeBron just recently. Last season, he broke the all-time point scoring record. When that game took place, I was like, okay, he's getting closer. There's a 3 points. There's a free throw. There's a 2-pointer. You know, he's gonna do it.
Tom Brady, like last September, October, just reached he reached a record for successful passing yards.
We Brady bashed for 3 years. we
God.
Don't get me wrong, okay? For the first 2 seasons of our show, I challenge that he is the greatest of all time.
Okay.
Now, Ric Flair is the greatest wrestler. We know this.
That's a fact.
That's a fact. The reason I don't say that Tom Brady is the greatest of all time is because he has lost 3 Super Bowls. He's 7 of 10.
Yep.
There are 2 quarterbacks out there. This is StatBoy, you know, on. I know what I'm talking about.
Where's StatBoys at? Where can my listeners watch it?
On the Casa D18 Studios YouTube page and the Jeff Meacham multitude of home media.
Okay. All right.
But see, here's the thing with Brady. Okay, like I said, he's
Where's
7
Noah
of
with the
9
botch when I need him?
Okay, if you are the greatest of all time, you would be perfect, and he is not. I will not deny he's won 7 times. That's a stat. That is a fact. It is a given. But to be the greatest, you need to be perfect.
I agree. So who do you suggest greatest?
Oh, Terry Bradshaw, without a doubt. 4 of 4.
Okay.
Joe Montana, 4 of 4. You know.
Montana, I'll
No,
concede.
not Joe Montana. Joe Montana. But see,
Joe Montana is pretty good too, though.
You can't now. Someone who's like 3 out of 3, 2 out of 2. No, you need to be more established. 4 out of 4 is a good stat to be.
That's a perfect stat.
Exactly. Okay, the people that say I'm undefeated, you've only had one major title. Okay, just because you win it once does not mean you are the best. At that moment in time, you are, but you got to defend it.
And you have to have a repetitive process of winning year after year after year.
Look at the Georgia Bulldog.
That kid's the best cameo of all time for no
If
reason.
they do it one more time, their stock goes up immensely.
Tenfold.
They three-peat? Absolutely. I know the Vols fans and the Crimson Tide fans and everyone else in this area are going to hate me for that.
Yeah,
but let's face it, you're back to back. Go for the three-peat.
Oh yeah.
Establish yourself. That's what I do.
Very much so. So I mean, what
Damn it,
about you?
Jay.
It's like the love for sports growing
That's
up.
my brother.
It was just
You wrong for that.
I didn't care what team. Okay, let's go all the way back to the 90s. The Bulls, 6-time champions, back-to-back three-peats or whatever that was. I'm like, who's going to win the NBA title? Oh, it has to go to the Bulls. They won last year. They won the year before that. You know, Jordan, 6 rings. Jordan's the greatest of all time. You can say that. LeBron is nowhere near Jordan's level. I'm sorry. Whenever a quarterback or whenever a player has like a 10% chance of making that miracle throw, okay, that's interesting to me. If he's perfect, that's interesting to me. Sure, you can have the miracle catch. That's your moment in the game. I just look at the numbers. I love seeing NASCARs go speed past me at 180 miles an hour, and I want to see them go faster.
And that feeling of vibration
Crazy.
going through your chest.
Exactly. Hit 190. I want to see him hit 200. I want to see him hit 210. I do not want to see them hit the wall at that speed.
No, not at all.
Dangerous levels.
Well, what do you see yourself going with the StatBoys? What's your goal, I guess?
Just to get
I mean,
followers,
that's
just to
fair,
get
Jay.
subscribers,
That's
just
fair.
to have people, you know, we just got monetized at the Casa D18 Studios, which I'm very proud of. My brother, the Renegade, JJ Williams, he finally got monetized. He's part of this as well. I would not be where I am because of him. my brother greatly. He is one of the both my brothers, Jeff Meacham and JJ Williams. They are my brothers, and we're family. You know, we squabble a lot, but hey, at the end of the day, family is everything. So the sky's the limit. I mean, we just proved it. We had Sabu here.
Yeah,
I mean,
you missed it, by the way. Sabu came up and stood behind us and talked a little bit.
I mean, we had you can't say anything better. There are other great wrestlers. Sabu is, I mean, the man super glued his arm shut and used duct tape in a match. Okay,
There's not topping it.
no, unless you use a staple gun.
Yeah, exactly. So, with that being said, if you had to pick, now this might be an easy answer for you.
Okay,
If you
go
had to pick, is your favorite sport and why?
I'm gonna go with hockey.
Good
I'm a
boy.
big-
Good
I'm a big
boy.
hockey guy right now. We got the Stanley Cup playoffs going up. The Hurricanes are in right now. Just I think last night, the Panthers just got in.
Yeah.
The Panthers have not been in the Eastern Conference Final for 20 years. This was their last trip to the playoffs.
24,
26,
26.
exactly. You know, they are the Cinderella team. They knocked off the President's Cup champion. You know, and hockey is full of stats. You know, a slap shot can travel the speed of a car on the highway.
Accurate.
You hit a hockey puck right, it can go 90 miles an hour.
Right.
Do
Well
that
said,
in
Jerry.
6 seconds. A hockey puck will do it in less than 3. So, you know, I gotta say Ducks. But since I moved out here to Tennessee, I'm becoming a Preds fan.
That's an unfortunate love.
Well, I know the Ducks didn't do very good this year, but
Damn.
you know, there's 32 teams to choose.
Mansfield and Mikey, the
Pick
Blistex
one.
twins.
Yeah,
I'm loyal to my California roots.
I got but you know.
Oh, you're a Sidney Crosby guy.
Yeah.
I liked him too. And I'm hoping that in 2023-24, the Great 8 gets to take his spot. He only needs 60 goals to go. He'll do it.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to do it this season, but let's face it, you can't have a hat.
He ain't gonna do it.
No.
It doesn't.
I don't
work
think.
that way. It does not work that way.
You have a love for numbers, and I have a new love for the Stat Boys. Thank you
Thank
for
you so
coming
much.
on. I appreciate
I
it.
love it, brother. You're a good
Nice
man.
meeting you.
Well done.
All right. So his name is Brody Long. He has his own podcast. He's a stand-up comedian. Definitely give a shout out to him and thank him for all the interviews and footage we got. So now with Sabu, there it is. There's he and I taking with the classic pose. This guy. And the part where I said something stupid.
Yeah, what did you say?
As Dory was taking the picture, and I introduced Dory to Sabu, and I said that she is a brand new wrestling fan, and that she has not gotten to the ECW years. And I then started talking about the incident between Taz and Bigelow going through the ring.
Okay.
What I wanted to say was the match where he wrapped himself in barbed wire. I got my matches mixed up.
Oh.
And said, you know that he doesn't talk, you know, and he's like, you're talking about Tad. Oh, shit. You know, earlier in the day when I first walked up to him, you know, I walked up to him, I shook his hand, and I said, I got a message from you from RVD. He's like, oh, really? What's that? Insert word here.
Right.
He's like, well, Rob said that the only reason you talk is when you have something to bitch about. He's like,
Oh, Jesus
Rob,
Christ, Mikey!
those were Rob's words, not mine. And
When did Rob tell you to say that to him? When was
they
this?
laughed.
Oh, okay.
He laughed
Okay.
at it. He made
Okay.
him laugh.
All right. Okay. All right.
So then we came back. We took the picture at $30. Dory got an autographed baseball card for 10, and then
Nice.
we did the interview, and he saw me, and then of course he came up, and I'm like, it's like when I said wrestling, he popped up. It's like say wrestling 3 times and Sabu appears, you know. So
Yeah. I will say that I don't think saying that Rob bitched was the stupid thing. It's comparing him, you know, getting him mixed up with Taz is never a smart thing to do because he and Taz still to this day don't get along. I got my brutality wrestling mixed up, but he laughed it off. He's like, well, you've offended me, so I guess
I'm like, yeah, just put me through a chair next time and it'll be fine. So we had a great time. Another shout out to Jason Hurricane Maples, who's the Heroes and Legends will be coming back to Pigeon Forge on August 26th. It's only three short months away, or 4 short months away, and we're probably going to be there again. Just
there
like
you
before, we have more pictures to show and probably more videos. And Renegade is not happy with me because I screwed up again. Uncle Goofy screws again.
No, Uncle Goofy. That's covered at IP. You can't be you're on Goofy anymore. You work for Dolly. You can say Uncle Partons or something. I don't know. Working 9 to 5. What a way to make a living.
Anyway, can't say that stuff.
Well, I can't because I don't work for her, and I can say my stuff because I work for Disney and they love me anyway. So it is that.
Let's get back on track.
Oh yes, we're a sports bar. We'll do that now. Yes.
The big man upstairs just gave me the cue. Like, if you heard that big thunderclap,
right? Jesus Christ! Yes, sir.
Literally.
Tabasco Mafia. Here we go. Oh, Jesus. That's it.
Every time
I didn't mean it, Mikey. Mickey Mouse. I didn't mean it. I'll be a good boy. I promise.
He's telling me get on with the show, so let's get on with the show and let's talk about some sports. We will start off in the tennis world. The Italian Open is still going on, but there have been conversations about equal pay. Of course, Italy is one of those that does not have equal pay for the men's and the women's. We did touch about this in previous years, or in previous episodes. The men's champion will receive $1.2 million. The women only will get $500,000. The men's purse is $8.3 million total. The women are only playing for $3.88. Thank you, Pop. Yes, I make mistakes. I love you too. However, the Italian tournament directors have announced that in 2 short years, in 2025, the prize money will be equal, and it's about damn time. Here are the top 10 for the men and the women. Up on top, from Serbia, we have Novak Djokovic, followed by Carlos Alcaraz of Spain, Daniil Medvedev of Russia, Casper Ruud of Norway, or Casper Ruud, excuse me, not Ruud, Ruud.
That was rude of you to mess up his name.
He has a very interesting serve technique. Usually when you serve a tennis ball, you throw it up, you overhand smash. He did a couple. He psyched out his opponent where you would be playing like paddle tennis, where he did the underhand serve. It's a legal serve, so it works.
Is 100% is, yeah, absolutely.
But it's like you're playing tennis on the courts. Followed up by my
wrong. Sorry.
My countryman Stefano Tsitsipas of Greece. He's in number 5. Andrei Rublev of Russia is number 6. Holger Rune of Denmark is 7. Yannick Sinner of Italy is 8. Taylor Fritz of the Good USA is 9. And Felix Auger-Aliassime of Canada is at the bottom. The ladies over on the women's side. We're having a downpour right now. Oh, wow.
Damn, I can hear that in my headset. Jesus.
Can you?
Yeah, that's loud.
This is why I love living in
Tennessee. Hang on a second. Yeah, that's torrential. That's crazy. Jesus.
I love Tennessee storms. I love it.
God.
Iga Świątek from Poland is on top of the women. Reina Sabalenka of Belarus is 2nd. Jessica Pegula of the USA is 3rd. Caroline Garcia of France is 4th. Coco Gauff is 5th. She's from USA. Elena Rebekina of Kazakhstan is 6th. Ange Jabeur from Tunisia is 7th. Maria Sakkari of Greece is 8th. Daria Kasatkina is 9th. And Petra Kvitova finishes out the list.
So here's how little sleep I've had last night because of the shoulder pain and everything I've been trying to deal with. What I heard was the AC kicking on, but I had the headphones. All I heard was this faint rumble. I thought it was the storm. It's just the AC in this house.
It's
but either way, I'm sure it's pouring like a mugger feather, so it's all good.
It is coming down right
The storm
now.
is coming. That's right.
The
Next thing you
storm
know,
is
we'll be
already here.
Next thing you know, Mike will be dancing around with elf ears on and nothing else but blonde hair. So he'll be in Game of Thrones. It'll be a very sticky situation. Anyway,
Moving on to golf.
Golf,
The
okay.
PGA Championship is coming up this Thursday. Justin Thomas is looking to defend his title at the Oak Hill Country Club in Rochester, New York.
Yes, beautiful Rochester.
Also, we have Jordan Spieth. He's looking to complete a Grand Slam.
Jordan
A
Spieth.
Grand Slam in golf is when you win the Masters, the PGA Championship, the U.S. Championship, and the PGA Championship, all in the same calendar year.
Yes.
Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods, Ben Hogan, Gary Player, and Gene Sarazen have all done this. There's the top 10. John Ram.
Papa Frank approves of that stat.
John Ram is number 1 from Spain, followed by Scotty Scheffler of the USA. Rory McIlroy of Ireland is 3rd.
Yay,
Patrick
Rory.
Cantlay and Xander Schauffele and Max Homa, all of the USA, are 4, 5, and 6. Matt Fitzpatrick of England is 7th. Cameron Smith, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. Will Zalatoris and Jordan Spieth round out the top 10. On the ladies, the number 1 player, Young Ko, had the Founders Classic in her division. Lilia Vu of the USA is 2nd. Nelly Korda is also of the USA. Georgia Hall from England is 4th. Celine Boutier is French. Runyang Yin of China. Then Ataya Titakul of Thailand. Ayaka Farouk of Japan. Brooke M. Henderson of Canada. And Hannah Green of Australia rounds out the top 10. So there's your tennis and golf. Let's go to NASCAR. The Darlington race took place over the weekend. The race had to go into overtime, and William Byron ended up taking the checkered flag by Kevin Harvick, Chase Elliott, Brad Keselowski, Bubba Wallace, Harrison Burton, Kyle Busch, Justin Haley, Ryan Blaney, and Chris Boucher. The top 10 in the standings. Remember, the top 16 get in, but we're only going to show the top 10. Ross Chastain is now the number 1 guy. Christopher Bell is number 2. Kevin Harvick is number 3. Denny Hamlin is number 4. William Byron is number 5. Jr. is number 6. Ryan Blaney is number 7. Tyler Reddick is number 8. Brad Keselowski is number 9. And Kyle Larson is number 10. The next race is the open race in North Wilkesboro. I want to share a quick story. I was at work the other day, and this little boy comes up, and he's rocking the number 9 Chase Elliott on his baseball hat. And he sat down. He played my game. We started talking about NASCAR, and I channeled my inner Jay Flats. I said, "Name a number. Can you name the driver?" He's like, "Yes, I can."
Oh.
And I threw out number 8, and he said, "Dale Jr." And I'm like, "Well, you're not wrong, but yes, that's right." Number 2, Austin Cindric. Number 18, Kyle Busch. Number 9, one right after the other. This kid was probably no more than 7 years old.
Right on.
Very talented young man in the NASCAR. And so then he got this little prize, and his grandfather thanked me. And later that day, he's like, "You got any more numbers?" I'm like, 99. Daniel Suarez. I'm like, yes, that's
right on.
Game. Something good happened at work.
That's it. Hey, every once in a while.
I love it. When things like that happen at work, it's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely.
There has not been any sanctions or consequences or punishments for the fight from last week. Don't know.
Which surprised me, actually.
So apparently it's okay to deck another driver in the pits.
Why not?
Why not? Just bam. We'll see what happens. Maybe they're just waiting for time. I don't know.
Yeah, why not?
We will see. All right. Next up, we will go with what's been keeping us going so far after the NFL season, the XFL Championship. And it's upset. I am kicking myself on this one because if you remember at the beginning of the season, 3 months ago, because of JJ's nickname, I said that the Arlington Renegades was going to win. Yet last week I went with the numbers and I said the Defenders were going to win. Lo and behold, what happens? The Renegades pull off the Rocky Cinderella story, defeat the DC Defenders 35-26. Luis Perez went 26 of 36 for 288 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and 1 sack. Jordan Ta'amu went 16 of 30 for 245 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and 2 sacks. Congratulations to your 2023 XFL champions, the Arlington Renegades. Man, oh man, I can't believe I actually said that they were going to win, and then I flipped my pick. James Holzhauer did the same thing on Jeopardy, episode 2 of Jeopardy Masters. He had one right. He ended up losing everything, but I mean,
always trust your gut, Caldwell. I keep telling you.
Always trust your gut. Stick with what you got. Always bet on black. Don't go back to red. And then watch what happens when the ball hits 0-0 and you lose either way.
I mean, there you go.
It happens. So the XFL season is done, but we still have football stuff to talk about, especially with the USFL. Let's bring up the power rankings for the USFL. There you go. The Breakers are 4-1. The Gamblers and the Stallions are tied at 3-2. The Gamblers have 142 points. The Stallions are 144. So the Stallions have a 2-point lead over that. Then all the other teams, all 5 remaining teams, are 2-3. The Showboats have a 1-point lead over the Generals, 97-96. Then the Stars are 2-3. They have 90 points. The Panthers are 2-3 at 83, and the Maulers are 2-3 at 82. Of course, the USFL is being reported every week. I need to do a little more research for next time with the scores and the stats on that. So that's what's happening in the USFL. Let's
Don't do
go.
NFL yet.
But no, NFL is last.
Okay, good.
Let's go to college softball.
Yes, something new for you. Yes.
Something new here. The College Softball World Series starts up this week, and our Lady Vols are in. They're in the top 5.
There you go.
The top 5 teams are the Oklahoma Sooners. They are going for a 3-peat. The UCLA Bruins are the number 2 team. The number 3 seed is the Florida State Seminoles, not the Florida Gators. Don't get them mixed up.
No,
and the
definitely do that.
Lady Vols, and of course the Alabama Roll Tide. How does the College Softball World Series work? They do a ton of regionals. There are, and I can quickly. Oklahoma will play Hofstra in the Norman Regional. That's on Friday. And Missouri will play California at 7:30. And all these are on ESPN. So the winner of the Hofstra-Oklahoma game plays the winner of the Missouri-California game. The 2 losers play each other. There's a 5th game, and then there's a 6th game. And if necessary, there's a 7th game. It's double elimination. So then that's the Norman Regional in Norman, Oklahoma. There's one in Clemson, South Carolina. That's going to feature UNC Greensboro, Clemson, Cal State Fullerton, and Auburn. There's the regional featuring George Mason, Duke, Charlotte, and Campbell. There's the Stanford Regional, Florida, Loyola Marymount, Long Beach State, and Stanford. Long Beach State is in this. Go 49ers. The Tuscaloosa Regional features Central Arkansas, Middle Tennessee, Long Island University, and Alabama. There's the number 5 seed. The Evanston Regional is Miami of Ohio, Kentucky, Eastern Illinois, and Northwestern. The Austin Regional features Seton Hall, Texas, go Longhorns, Texas State, and Texas A&M. So somebody from Texas should win that regional.
I mean,
with 3 out of 4 teams being from Texas, of course. The Knoxville Regional features Indiana, Louisville, Northern Kentucky, and of course the Lady Vols as the number 4 seed. The Tallahassee Regional has Marist, the Florida State Seminoles. See, I already did it. Botch. South Carolina and UCF. The Athens Regional in Athens, Georgia is Boston University, Virginia Tech, North Carolina Central and the Georgia Bulldogs, they are ranked 14th. The Fayetteville Regional in Fayetteville, Arkansas features Notre Dame, and the Oregon Ducks, and Harvard, not Yale, but Harvard, and the number 11 Arkansas Razorbacks. The Stillwater Regional in Oklahoma is UMBC, Oklahoma State, Wichita State, and Nebraska. The Seattle Regional is Minnesota, McNeese, Northern Colorado, and number 7, the Washington Huskies. Calling Baton Rouge, on ESPN, by the way. Baton Rouge Regional features Louisiana, Omaha, Prairie View A&M, and LSU, who is ranked number 10. The Salt Lake City Regional is Ole Miss, Southern Illinois, and Utah. The LA Regional, of course, is Grand Canyon, UCLA, Liberty State, and San Diego State. Oh, did I botch again? CSULB baseball. Damn it. Botch count 3. And then they go into the super regionals, which is a best of 3. That doesn't take place until May 25th. So there you go. And apparently
There you go. So JJ in the chat room can't answer this because he's our movie guy. What movie stat is big this year on May 25th, Mikey?
What movie stat is big on May 25th?
Yeah, like there's an important movie stat regarding May 25th this year. It's anniversary, if that helps.
May 25th anniversary?
May 25th is an anniversary this year for a movie.
May 25th. What company? Where are we going at?
Technically now the company I work for. Movie-wise.
You got me, bro. What's up?
It's also the same age as me. Return of the Jedi's 40th anniversary is May 25th. So not only did you botch that, but you're yelling across to somebody that's not even on screen. If they're here, you can go ahead and do the yelling thing. That's all. But anyway, I digress.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. By the way, JJ, I purposely pulled up the digital copy of the original release just to watch Yed Epstein, and then I turned the shit back off after I watched the Disney-fied version on Disney Plus because, damn it, that's what I do. Anyway, yes, Return of the Jedi, of course, is 40 years this year. They're having a whole bunch of different celebrations. I'm not going to the one that's ironically here in Santa Clarita because I have already signed up to be on the absolute last cast ride of Splash Mountain on May 25th. So I will be there Thursday night the 25th instead of here in the hometown.
So it's not fully shut down yet?
May 30th is the last day. May 31st, the sun will rise, but will not have Splash Mountain in operation. May 30th is the last day. The one in Florida is been done, already in the process of being transformed, but ours officially closes the night of the 30th.
The end of an era.
And I actually have a friend of mine that works there now was telling me that there's a guest that is determined by any way possible. I mean, Dory, that's a fair point of why he would yell across the house. That's a fair point. That is why you fail. That's right, Mikey. There's a guest that is determined to be the absolute last guest on board Splash Mountain. And I hope he gets there because it'll drive him bats if he doesn't.
I got you, boss. All right, let's move on with some more sports stuff. Let's talk about what do we want to talk about?
Let's talk about sex, baby.
Let's talk about another thunderclap that just happened. Perfect timing. Let's go.
Thunderclap. Oh, that's Thunderstruck. Go ahead, you're good.
Thunderstruck.
Oh, okay. Well,
let's go and talk baseball.
Baseball been very good to me, so we could talk baseball.
Baseball is very, very good. The Tampa Bay Rays are still the number 1 team. They are at 31-11.
Jesus.
Dodger Blue at second.
How about them Doyers, huh?
How about them Doyers? Yeah, 27-15.
They are
The
whooping that
Braves
ass.
and the Orioles are tied at 26 and 15, but the Braves have a 13-run lead over the Orioles at 218 to 205. The Texas Rangers are 25 and 16. The Toronto Blue Jays are 24 and 17. The Arizona Diamondbacks are 24 and 18. The New York Yankees are 24 and 19. The Milwaukee Brewers are 23 and 18, and the Minnesota Twins are right behind them and 23-19, and the Thunder Rolls.
23-19! 23-19!
23-19! The Houston Astros and the Pittsburgh Pirates are tied at 22 and 19, and the Astros have a 1-run lead.
Piss on the trash, Rose.
I think
Bunch of
I'm going to
cheating
retire
bastards.
that. I mean, we
No,
know
no! Oh, hold it. Oh, okay. I am going on screen to refute that. Fuck that. No. As long as I'm producing this show, they will always be the cheating ass trash trolls. Fuck those guys. Fuck them. They're in your team's division or your conference, and they fuck the Dodgers too. So fuck. They are on the Oilers list of fuck them forever. No. Nope. Executive decision right there.
Are his and his alone.
I don't give a shit if they are. Okay, fine. Hey, fine. Fuck it. Whatever. I don't care. Fuck the Astros in their cheating asses. All right, there. I feel better about myself.
You feel better?
Yeah, I do. God damn it.
Okay. Can I have the list back up, please?
Oh, yeah, I guess. I mean, God, if you're going to be all freaking professional about it.
The Boston Red Sox are 22 and 20, along with my LA Angels, 22 and 20. The Red Sox have a 9-run lead, 7 to 2-18. Seattle is 21 and 20. Philadelphia is 20 and 21, tied with Miami, has a 35 goal lead, 176 to 141. The Mets and the Padres are tied at 20 and 22. The Mets have the lead on that one, 174 to 165. The Guardians are 19 and 21. The Cubs are 19 and 22. The Tigers are 18 and 21. The Giants and the Reds are both at 18 and 23. They both have scored 179 runs. The Giants have given up less at 203, so they get the advantage over the Reds by 6 runs, 209 for Cincinnati. Washington is also 18 and 23, but they have less runs. They're only at 166. The Rockies are at 18 and 24. The Cardinals are at 17 and 25. The White Sox are at 14 and 28. The Royals are 12 and 31, and the Athletics still have not yet won a double-digit win. They are 9 and that team on the other side of the Golden Gate Bridge. It's not a good look there, Granddad. Not for the Green A's. That's why they're not Red A's. Okay, I'm sorry for upsetting all the Oakland fans. Boy, you ticked off the big guy upstairs and talk about the Angels, and look what happens.
So there were some comments on my little tirade, so I'll go ahead and throw it up there. So first of all, yes, JJ, I understand Nolan Ryan was with the Astros. He was also an Angel, so I can take Nolan Ryan and put him in a different jersey and still say fuck Houston. So there's that. Joey agrees with me. She also says go Twins. And yes, JJ, I realize that my views don't necessarily reflect the opinions of the country and studios, but in this case, I don't care because fuck you, Houston Astros. Moving right along.
Moving right along. Let's take a look at the current standings, at the way the current playoffs are going on in the NBA.
We will do that. That's...
The Nuggets ended up beating the Suns, and they are advancing to the Western Conference Final against the Lakers. I am not happy
Lakers
about this at all.
Okay, why?
The number 1 team is playing the number 7 team here. The Warriors and the Lakers were both bottom-ranked teams. LeBron's ego is bigger than anything now because he knocked off the greatest three-point shooter in the modern era. That's what Steph Curry is now. Because every time someone goes to shoot a three-pointer, it's Curry. You know that.
Yes.
And in the East, Miami is going up against Boston, and we all know Boston has got a ton of banners. So let's say right now I am anti-LA. I'm sorry. I'm turning my back on my LA roots. I'm going to say it right now. put another banner in the TD Garden Arena, and it's going to be Boston Green this year. I'm turning my back on the purple and gold because of one player. One player who, he's good. I get it. LeBron is a good player. You are not on Jordan's level. I said it in that interview, and I say it now. Tone down your ego a little bit. Then I can start liking you again.
Hey, Mike. Guess what? He doesn't care. And guess what? Were you in a Space Jam movie with Looney Tunes characters in a major motion picture? No, you weren't. He was. So he doesn't care.
Movie bombed.
I enjoyed that movie thoroughly.
It was.
And I enjoyed the first one better. Don't get me wrong, but
the second. He's trying to overshadow Jordan. If he can't do it on the court, he thought he could do it in the movie screen. And look what happened. They got Don Cheadle as a computer virus. I'm going to quote you at Triple H. Who writes that crap? You got War Machine as a computer virus. Really? Come on.
I'm never one to put the Lakers over, or LeBron for that matter, but LeBron did break an unbreakable record this year.
Okay, that one I will admit. We know this.
I sat there. I think I was here when that game was going on. I never thought Kareem would get past ever. Much like I don't think even now that Gretzky's goal number will get past ever. But records are meant to be broken. Now, StatBoy is bandwagoning by turning the Lakers because of one player, kind of like when I turned on them 20. You know what? The Lakers tend to get that one guy that takes over the situation, and unfortunately, they win championships. Where it was Showtime here in the 80s for a reason, and we had more than one player doing that back then. But every era of the Lakers, the Magic era, championships. The Kobe and Shaq era, championships. LeBron era now has at least one championship. So it's hard to argue with success. We just don't have to like it.
That is very, very true.
Yes.
So
I thought so.
I'm saying it now. I want to see Boston win this one. If the Lakers win it, the Lakers win it. Okay. I mean, they'll put a new banner up in their. It's still the Staples Center to me. Dang it.
Damn it, that's right. It is. Now, I will say that I only want the Lakers to beat Denver because of the whole thing that happened a few years ago when the Lakers were playing Denver and Denver ousted the WWE for the game, and the Staples Center went, we'll take it, and the WWE totally freaking ragged on them. It was funnier than shit. So they held up the Denver Nuggets, too.
Yeah, indeed. All right, let's talk about some good old-fashioned at the good old hockey game. It's
yes.
The best game you can play, and the best game you can play is a good old hockey game.
Congratulations to the Vegas Golden Knights. Thank you for doing your job. Now go fuck off. Go Dallas.
Okay. As you can see in the East, the Cinderella team of the Florida Panthers are advancing to the Eastern Conference Finals. Again, I stated it in the interview. They have not been to the Eastern Conference Finals since 1996. They ended up winning the first three games. They won game 1 4-2, 3-2, and overtime. They gave the Maple Leafs one. They gave them game 4 in a 2-1 loss, and then they came back in game 5 to close out the series in a 3-2 overtime. No.
I'm an Angels fan, and that's funnier than shit.
The Panthers will face the Carolina Hurricanes.
Go Carolina!
Who took out the Devil? The Hurricanes won game 1 and 2, 5-1 and 6-1. The Devils then came back and scored 8 big goals, 8-4.
Yeah.
The Hurricanes then won game 4, 6-1, and then the Hurricanes eliminated the Devils 3-2. The Devils were Dory Lou's team in the fantasy playoffs, and sadly, she did not qualify for the Final Four. But I'm very proud of it. During the regular season, she got a top 4 finish for the majority of the season. She was down at the bottom, but she worked her way to the top, and that's the positive news. That's what Dory Lou teaches us, to be positive.
Jesus Christ, JJ's on your ass today.
Ouch. The Dallas Stars took out the Seattle Kraken.
Which is a bummer, I'm not going to lie.
In a 7-game series.
Yes.
They literally went back and forth. The Kraken won the first game in overtime 5-4. Stars came back in game 2, won 4-2. Kraken won game 3, 7-2. Stars won the next 2, 6-3, 5-2. Kraken came back in game 6, won 6-3. And then finally, the thriller, game 7, Stars defeated the Kraken 2-1. The Stars were J. The Kraken were my team. We're doing a head-to-head matchup. JJ would have defeated me, but because we had someone quit, we had to change the format in the second round. Either way, JJ and myself are now in the Final Four. We're in the semifinals, so we have that to look forward to. And finally, the Vegas Knights did their job against the Edmonton Oilers, going 6 games. They won the first game 6-4. Then the Oilers came back and won 5-1. Then game 3 went to the Knights 5-1. The Oilers won game 4 4-1. The Knights won game 5 4-3. And then they finished out the series in game 6. The Vegas Knights were represented by our friend. Who had the Knights in the playoffs? Was that Nathan, I believe?
I think it was, but I'll gladly take them on in the competition because they were representing all of us Kings fans. I know people like Christian will be like, fuck Clark County. You know what? For the moment, they did their job. The Orange and Blue Brigade has been halted.
Yes.
So now Vegas can go back to their rightful place in the universe and go fuck off. Go Stars, go. I'm sorry, Demi. Let's go Stars.
There you go. So our Final Four in our fantasy hockey is myself, Renegade, our friend Nathan from Canada, and my coworker Sean. He's the one that has, since he joined mid-season, he's like, I'm going to win the playoffs. That if he calls his shot, which he has, yes, it's gonna be very, very surprising. So yes. Sean will make his pick tonight, probably after we get off the air. Then I'll make my pick. Then JJ can make his pick. Then Nathan gets the last pick because he is the top 4. Zach ended up getting 5th by literally only like less than a point. JJ needed 16 points to get into the playoff, scoring 22. He got in. Dory saying, "Go Star, go!" Because of course, the Minnesota Wild were the Dallas.
I was going to say, I admire Dory saying, "Let's go Stars," or "Go Stars, go" in this case, even though they beat the Minnesota Wild, because that was just really a battle of Minnesota, is what that was. So I admire Dory for cheering the Stars on, because more often than not, you want the team that beat your team to win the cup, but I just despise the Oilers so much. I don't care. So go Vegas in that series. They did their job. Now kindly go away in 4 and out. Goodbye.
Now here's also my small little thing here.
Yes.
The Final Four is head-to-head. So whoever Sean picks, I can then challenge whoever more than likely he's going to pick Florida. Okay. I have not confirmed this, so I don't know what he's going to pick. If he picks Florida, I can then pick Carolina, and I can challenge him in the Eastern Finals, and JJ and Nathan can battle it out in the West. This could set up, if it goes right, a battle between me and Renegade in the finals. Or I could say, I don't want to challenge Sean. I want either the Knights or the Stars. I haven't made that decision yet. Good. Then JJ could come in and challenge me, or he could take out my friend. So it all determines on who picks what, and that's probably going to be done in an hour or so once I message Sean.
I will say whoever picks Vegas this series will have a sodium lace producer man on their ass for at least this series.
Really?
Oh, really? I want them 4 and out. I like I said, I am tickled and appreciate the Vegas Golden Knights doing their job and getting rid of the Edmonton Oilers, but they need to go away. If the Kraken aren't in, which they're not, I don't have to be this, let's have an expansion final. Not piss on that shit. Get rid of them.
It would have been nice if the Kraken had gotten.
It would have been cool. Had Seattle gotten through, I would have stayed neutral during this series because it would have been cool to have a all expansion conference final. But because Dallas got through, And because my buddy works for Dallas, and she's a former Kings person, so I am all in on the Stars now. Plus, I just detest Vegas enough where I could suck it up while they were playing freaking Oilers. But yeah, the hell with them now. Anyway,
we're almost.
We are now. Yes,
it's now the 8:00 hour, so we're going to start wrapping up. We've got one more thing to talk about, and it was schedule release day in the NFL.
Yes.
I don't think we have any graphics available, but that's okay.
I have the graphics for the teams we talked about. I will say, I much appreciate New Orleans and Cleveland and Minnesota not putting YouTube friendly graphics on their Twitter pages. You guys suck a dick. However, I'll go ahead and throw it up there.
All right, let's see what we got.
We got New Orleans.
So this Saints, they're going to start the preseason against Kansas City, the Chargers, and the Texans. Week 1, they will play the Titans, and if all goes well, that'll be my early birthday present. I'll be traveling down to New Orleans to go see my current home team play against the Saints. Then they go on the road and battle against the Panthers and the Packers. They come back home to take on the Bucks. Then they play the Patriots and the Texans on the road. They come back home and play the Jaguars. They head on the road to play the Colts. They come back home to play the Bears. And then they go to Minnesota and play the Vikings before going on their bye week. They then play in Atlanta. They play at home for a 3-game stint against the Lions, the Panthers, and the Giants.
Oh, my.
Then they travel to both coasts, heading out to Los Angeles, coming back to Tampa Bay, and finishing the season in Atlanta.
There you go. So then we had, what can Brown do for you? Not make a YouTube-friendly graphic.
They will start week 1 against Cincinnati in the Battle of Ohio.
Go Bengals.
There you go. Then they get to play Monday Night Football against the Steelers. Then they get to stay at home for against the Titans, the Ravens, and then they have their bye week, and then San Francisco comes to town. They go on the road and play the Colts and the Seahawks, come back home to play the Cardinals, then go back out to Baltimore, play the Steelers again, this time at home. They play away in week 2. They're on the road. They go to Denver and Los Angeles, come back home to play against Jacksonville and the Bears. They play the Jets. They get to visit with their newly quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, and they finish the season the way it started with another Battle of Ohio.
JJ, I won't spoil what's on, but make sure you watch NXT from the start tonight, brother. All right, we'll go to this one next for Miss Dory Lou.
Minnesota. They will start against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Then they'll head up north to Philadelphia and play the Eagles. Then they come out to the coast and play the Chargers. They come back to Carolina. Then they play Kansas City, which was a big rivalry last year between our friendly neighbors, the Vikings and the Chiefs. Then they head out to Chicago. Then they go back out to California and play the 49ers. Then, of course, the big rival game against the Packers at Lambeau Field.
Ooh.
Come on down south to Atlanta and play the Falcons. Then they come down to New Orleans in week 10, head out to Denver, and then play the Bears week 12 before finally getting a bye week on week 13. Then they head out to that, as Dory calls it, that garbage stadium. She hates Allegiant Stadium with a passion.
Really? Wow.
Oh, yeah. The last time we went out to Vegas, and it's like, there it is, Dory. There it is. She's like, okay. I'm like, how? She's like,
God, I love. Okay, wait. Let me get us. Go and finish the schedule out. Then we'll talk about it.
So then week 15 they play against the Bengals. Then of course another rival, and then the last 3 are against the rivals, the Lions, the Packers, and the Lions to finish out the season.
There you go. So I'm only going to defend for a couple reasons. One, I actually loved the stadium when I went out there and saw it. Let me get us back where we're supposed to be here. Give me a second here. I just realized that. Sorry about that. Come on, screen. You can do it. There we go. So I love their stadium, and our buddy Lex, former Disney tour guide, former Garden Walk tour guide, actually is a tour guide for the stadium now for the Raiders. So, yeah. So I'm not saying that because she's there. I just have this is an interesting fact. But yeah, I love their stadium. I was more impressed with that upon first sight than I was SoFi Stadium, and that's legitimate. I'm not just saying that now because we're talking about it. I love the amenities. The sightlines are great in Allegiant. Like I said, Dad and I, if we were at a football game, we'd been at the 50-yard line. We were at SummerSlam, and you can see everything. It's awesome. Whatever old Mansfield say about having to play Pittsburgh twice, I guess we'll have to find out on another show. But we'll have to talk about that
later during the plugs, perhaps.
Well, we can also talk about it during open mic night on Saturday because Josh will be there, as will you. We'll talk more about that later.
Excellent.
I did not have the Lions graphic ready. Nobody on the team officially.
We can tweet it to you or
yes,
message it or go over it real quick.
So then for my Cowboys, Mikey, go ahead.
The Cowboys, let's take a look. They start against the New York Giants on September 10th. Then they play New York. Let's try that again. They play both New York teams back-to-back, the Giants, then the Jets. Then they play the Falcons on September 24th. They play the Patriots on October 1st. And then go on the road to play all three California teams. They play San Francisco and Los Angeles Chargers, then come home. The Rams come into town down to Dallas. Then they go to play in Philadelphia. They play the Giants again. Then they go to Carolina, a 3-game homestand against the Commanders, the Seahawks, the Eagles. Then they play the Bills the week before Christmas. They've got the Christmas Eve game against the Dolphins. They play the Lions on New Year's Eve, and then they finish the season on January 6th and 7th. Their bye week will be week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Will be week 7 after they play Angeles.
And then for the hometown, in this case, the hometown of the Studio Adjunct in Sevierville, the Nashville-based Tennessee Titans.
They start I believe that's the preseason. They play Chicago, Minnesota, and New England. Then, of course, there's the game that I'll hopefully be seeing for my birthday against the Saints. Then they play the Chargers, and the Browns come in. Then they go to play the Browns, and then they play the Bengals. Then they play the Colts, and then they play the Ravens. Then they get their week off. They stay in town for the Falcons. They go on the road for 3 games, playing the Steelers, the Buccaneers, and the Jaguars. They come home for 2 against the Panthers and the Colts. They play the Dolphins down in Miami. They come back home for 2 games, playing the Texans and the Seahawks. Then they play the Texans again on New Year's Eve, and then they finish the season against the Jaguars.
So that's it as far as the room. So congrats to everybody that got what they wanted out of that. The distraction will be the new A's stadium that the Tropicana is getting demolished for a baseball stadium on the Vegas Strip, like traffic on the Strip. You know what? I'm glad he said it. That's going to be a nightmare going up there. Another reason not to go up to that damn city.
I should have brought that up during the baseball stuff. I do.
No, you're good, man.
That is a bad idea.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
Texas, UNLV Stadium is a good far away. They've got the MGM Grand. I can't even fathom the thought of a stadium on the Strip. I just can't.
Especially the Tropicana was. That's gonna be like right in the heart. Traffic's going to suck so bad. Oh my God.
And then, are there going to be slot machines on the concourse? Are you going to go?
Sure. Sure. Well, yeah, there will be, just as long as Pete Rose doesn't use them.
I think it's kind of stupid, honestly.
It is stupid. It's.
I get Las Vegas is the capital. Let's face it. There are those cheap video poker machines and cheap slot machines at a gas station, restaurant, the
airport,
pharmacy. Well, no, the airport's okay. Yeah, I can understand the airport because you want to get money going in and you want to try and get money coming out. The airport, I can agree with. It's like I think they even have them in like grocery stores.
Oh yeah, everywhere, brother.
Where's the groceries? I put it. Yes, I knew that.
I was waiting for that.
I did that in the message chat. I put the I Love Lucy crying gif in there.
As you should.
And how many people are going to stream or get to see the Tropicana explode or implode?
Implode. Yes.
It used to be a site. It used to be
Oh,
a
yeah.
thing. I mean,
Oh,
for safety reasons, they cleared the strip. They shut down all around all the other buildings, and the next thing you know, kablamo, and the thing goes up, and
Yeah.
Yeah. But I
I
do not like the idea of a stadium.
No.
On the strip.
Couple things. Dory Lou is clarifying she hasn't been in the stadium, just thinks it's an eyesore, which I tend to agree with. It's just there. It's ugly looking. Number one. Number two, on the outside. Number two, JJ, when you do watch NXT, there is a new piece of Chase U merchandise. You got to see this, brother, and I might have to get it for myself. Anyway, I think that's it for sports.
Everything.
All right. It is time for shills, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, let's.
All right, let's do the things. So, JJ, of course, is in the midst of showcasing the Duke himself, John Wayne, on Renegades Reviews. Yesterday, his review of The Sons of Katie Elder, which I found the title track, the song for, on Instagram, and was able to post it in my Instagram story, plugging the show. I was proud of my damn self, not going to lie. So that was pretty cool yesterday. Tomorrow will be another John Wayne classic in El Dorado, and Friday, of course, will be Chisholm, which JJ, as he will talk about, was unaware of a very important fact about this movie before he reviewed it. So you'll have to check it out Friday to see exactly what that fact was. And yes, Sons of Katie Elder is an awesome. I love that movie, Dory, and JD McDonough Irisation needs to be a thing, or Jordan Devlin, however they want to label it. JJ, I agree that needs to be a thing like right now, because I will buy those by the case. I love me some JD McDonough. Also, on Renegades Reviews this week, the movie that I saw last night with the kiddo at our local cinema, the movie that JJ and company saw last week, Volume 3, Guardians of the Galaxy, will be Renegades Reviews new release Saturday coming up on May 20th. I liked it. I think I liked it better than I would have if I had seen the other two recently, and I think JJ's review will reflect that coming up on Saturday, because I liked it, but I was also very emotional during the movie and more so after. And Sunday, of course, will be his usual visit to the War Zone, the Weekly Station Report for JJ. But also this weekend, in addition to Sunday's watch-along of New Japan's return to Southern California and to the Walter Pyramid, Mikey, somewhere you're very familiar with, my friend.
Love it.
They will be at the Pyramid on Sunday night, 5 o'clock bell time. JJ and I, of course, will not be going. I have been called in to work by the Moscow Mafias. I will not be there, unfortunately, so we are not going. But Saturday night, baby, it is open mic night, as it is every Saturday, but it's our first of our game nights, and it will be the Saturday skirmish amongst the families, if you will, of the Casa and the Multiverse of Media, as confirmed. JJ, since you're in the room, chat room, I will confirm this to you and everybody else live on the air. We now have our teams of 4. On Team Fandom, we will have Big G, Big Baller G, Jeff Hiddle. We will have the Meltzer of the Multiverse, Josh Mansfield, and the brother-sister duo, the paid members of the Casa D-Teen Studios, Emmanuel and Arlene Dominguez. They will be on one team. The other team will be Team Network. JJ, the Renegade himself, JJ Williams, who, as he stated in the chat room, he and Mikey met at the Celebrity Fit Club, Casa Fit Club at the Pyramid. So there you go. So it'll be JJ, the Renegade himself, James Hebert, our buddy, our color commentator for all things non-WWE reviews, and confirmed this afternoon, StatBoy and Dory Lou. There you go. Yes. They will be on Team Network, hosted by Noah Foster, our simple man with technical voice, and surveys generated by yours truly, collected answers. And JJ, I know I said the answer was the last survey was going to go up before this show went live. Didn't get around to it because I was busy trying to do the graphics for the show today. But as soon as we get off the air, I will post the last survey question of the 4 in and out or across my various social platforms. So that'll be the last question, and we will get to everything on Saturday night. Again, that is open mic night, game night, the first of many. So basically how this is going to lay out, and we're going to talk more about this on Friday's episode of Dads, by the way, which is recorded today, the top 10 heels of all time in professional wrestling. So that'll be our episode on Friday. But for game nights, they will be at least once a month on the months that don't have a open mic and karaoke night. So there you go. So yeah, that's again the Saturday skirmish. I didn't want to call it Family Feud because, it's not families in the truest sense, but we all are a big happy family here at the Multiverse of Media and the Casas. So definitely wanted to use at least the font and the old Richard Dawson style background. So that is it as far as the plugs for that goes. But our next episode of Dads, which will be recorded in the near future, will be our top 10 must-see moments of the Monday Night War. I'm coming up tonight live after the East Coast broadcast of NXT with Talk Wrestling. And in addition to our watch along this Sunday, next weekend, Memorial Day weekend, will be the triple threat of watch alongs. Under Siege from Impact Wrestling, Night of Champions from the WWE, along with Mike that night, and Double or Nothing from AEW. That is it for me. StatBoy Mike, take us home, brother. Next
week, we'll be back in the sports bar. Dory Lou and I, everything's on track for that to happen. All I stated in the beginning of the show, Heroes and Legends 20, August 26th, when we get the graphics and the vendors list. I'm going to keep promoting that just like before. Follow us on Twitter at Hathaway Lou and at LBStatKid1977. Drop us a line. Let us know what you want us to talk about. We will gladly put that in. Again, thank you to Brody Long and Jason Hurricane Maples. We had a great weekend last weekend. And of course, everything is StatBoy approved. Pictures will be coming of all the events and pictures that we took. And again, if you want to see the interviews, go back and watch the interviews with me and Brody Long. Thank you all. Have a great week. I love you all. StatBoy out.